Citizens and residents of our beloved country, St. Kitts and Nevis, I address you today on an immensely troubling development that has occurred over the last 24 hours in our Citizenship by Investment, the CBI program, a development which, in my opinion, as the leader of the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party and the parliamentary opposition, needs to be brought urgently to the attention of all right-thinking and conscientious people. In fact, today, September the 23rd, 2017, the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, led by Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris, has sunk to the lowest low in a manner that is most unconscionable and calculated to undermine the desperate recovery efforts that are already underway in Dominica and Antigua and Barbuda to restore those countries' operations and the lives of their citizens to a state of normalcy as quickly as possible. I make reference to a press release from the Citizenship by Investment Unit, the CIU, of St. Kitts and Nevis, dated September the 23rd, and entitled Hurricane Relief Fund Announced as part of the Citizenship by Investment program. In this announcement, the Timothy Harris-led administration has reported to investors interested in our CBI program that it has decided to decrease the foundation investment contribution for the St. Kitts Nevis CBI program from US $300,000 to $150,000 US, thus launching the Hurricane Relief Fund and suspending the present Sugar Industry Diversification Foundation. In making the case for this, the Prime Minister has reported that 2 Category 5 hurricanes have made landfall in St. Kitts and Nevis, causing phenomenal devastation to homes, to businesses, and key infrastructure in our country. While it must be said with certainty that our country has in fact experienced 2 hurricanes recently, why our Prime Minister would want to mislead the entire world as to the directness of the impact of these hurricanes and the extent of the damage caused is truly beyond me. If indeed St. Kitts and Nevis has suffered the phenomenal devastation of which Prime Minister Harris speaks, what shall we say of Dominica and of Barbuda? In the case of Barbuda, that island has been completely vacated, resulting in a 3% immediate increase in the population of Antigua, with phenomenal stress brought to bear on the social services in that country. It has been estimated that the rebuilding exercise in Barbuda will cost $2.5 billion. As to Dominica, what can one say in response to the horror that was left in the wake of Hurricane Maria? The situation on the ground is truly unimaginable. The extensive loss of life and the catastrophic damage to homes, to businesses, industries, and public infrastructure are truly phenomenal and abhorrent. Although no estimates have yet been posited by the government of Dominica, it is safe to say that the damage will be assessed to be several billion United States dollars. That is truly phenomenal. In the press release to which I earlier referred, instead of painting an honest picture of the state of affairs of our country and the extent of the damage it has incurred, Prime Minister Harris, in an attempt to raise money on fake news, has sought to utterly deceive the investor community. This dishonest and extremely selfish conduct on the part of the Prime Minister can do nothing but serve to woefully undermine confidence of the international community in any information coming from official sources in our country. This, my dear citizens and residents, is emphatically abhorrent and reminds me of the story of the little boy who cried, "Wolf, wolf." But as if that were not enough, to add insult to the injury of both Antigua and Barbuda and Dominica, Prime Minister Harris has revealed in the press release of September the 23rd, has decided to undercut and undermine the desperate recovery efforts of these two countries by reducing the value of the investment contribution to the foundation option in the St. Kitts Nevis CBI program by 50%, bringing it to $150,000, the same level as that of Dominica and Antigua and Barbuda. This, my fellow citizens and residents, is what many people in the region and beyond who have seen the press release have called unconscionable, unfriendly, selfish, uncaring, and reprehensible. This is a blatantly opportunistic move by Dr. Harris. Quite to the contrary, when Dominica learned of our situation after Hurricane Irma, Prime Minister Skerrit, along with our OECS leaders, visited our country to provide moral support and did in fact offer monetary assistance to our government. That is what we would expect from our Caribbean brothers and sisters in an hour of distress. The level to which our Prime Minister Harris has stooped is beneath the very office he holds, and frankly, is shameful and disgraceful, and is an insult to all the support we have received from our sister countries in times of natural disasters. Dr. Harris is repulsively self-serving, self-centered, and indifferent. Fellow citizens and residents, let us remember the people of Dominica, Anguilla, Barbuda, St. Martin, the British Virgin Islands, the United States Virgin Islands, and other territories that have suffered catastrophic damage as a result of recent hurricanes. Our hearts go out particularly to Dominica, who only 2 years ago suffered similar horrific damage in the wake of Hurricane Erika, and whose recovery efforts were still underway when another terrible disaster struck a few days ago. The least Prime Minister Harris could have done was to offer some support and not so callously undercut Dominica's and Antigua and Barbuda's own CBI programs. Fellow citizens and residents, as we ourselves recover from the inconveniences that we have sustained from these same hurricanes, let us do what we can to help our fellow human beings in Dominica and other islands seriously impacted by Hurricanes Irma and Maria. A week ago, our organization, the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party, together with the parliamentary opposition, teamed up with a number of civic-minded persons and businesses to provide airlift and limited cargo services for our citizens living in St. Martin. Similarly, we are reaching out to the affected people in Dominica, the BVI, United States Virgin Islands, Anguilla, and other countries. I believe that with your partnership, my fellow citizens, we will be able to reach out to many, many more. Let us continue to lift them up in our prayers, that God would protect them and make provision for them where we cannot at this time. May God continue to bless us all and protect us from the ravages of natural disasters this season and in the future. God bless you. Thank you.